It's the Rob Carson Show. Are you ready to be podsmacked? Now, here's Rob Carson.
Hey guys, welcome to another edition of the Rob Carson Show, being recorded today on the 20th of November. All right, 20th of November. We're already into Thanksgiving week, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who are listening to the podcast and not viewing it on Liberty One TV, this is episode number 69. And we got a lot of stuff to get to. If you haven't become a Liberty One TV subscriber, I would greatly appreciate it if you would. I know that all the other hosts would as well. It's only 33 cents a day, $10 a month, $99 a year. You get a lot of advantages. You get, of course, great entertainment and information. You also get discounts on the online stores. And when we do live appearances, you will get special VIP treatment, among other things. So if you would, please sign up. LibertyOneTV.com, LibertyOneTV.com. It's Thanksgiving week. It's kind of hard to believe it is already here. I'm going to say something that I have never said before. Something I've never said before, and that is that my wife and I are going out to dinner on Thanksgiving. And my daughter, my son's working, actually. He works at an old folks home. And this is the first time I've ever eaten out on Thanksgiving. I don't know. It's a decision we kind of just came by. We want to go down and see some lights and just kind of enjoy the evening. But, yeah, I'm not going to be making the turkey, not going to make the stuffing, all that stuff. It's just, I don't know. I don't think this is going to be a regular thing. I hope it isn't a regular thing because I really enjoy Thanksgiving and I really enjoy cooking. Although this year's kind of been a weird year. This year's been a weird year. I've been out of unemployment or out of full-time employment since 1 year ago tomorrow, actually. 1 year ago tomorrow, I will have been out of work for 1 year. Have you ever been out of work for a year? It sucks. It's not fun. But I am spending some time on some of America's greatest radio stations, including KFYI in Phoenix and WLS in Chicago this week, actually. Okay? All right. So Jeff Flake didn't realize his mic was on Friday at an event in Arizona. And he said some bad things about the president. He's a rhino. He's done with his senatorial career after 2018. He's going to be leaving. And as far as I'm concerned, good, because I don't particularly care for his politics. I think that he is part of the swamp that needs to be drained. And so I say to him, good riddance. Here is what, let me see if I can find this. Here is what he had to say about Donald Trump speaking to another Republican at this event. He said some bad things about the Donald and where the party is headed if they follow Roy Moore and if they also follow Donald Trump.
Become the party of Roy Moore and Donald Trump. We are toast.
And I'm not throwing smoke at you, but you're the guy that could, just for fun, think how much fun it would be just to be the foil, and to point out what an idiot this guy is.
Okay.
Anyway.
You're the guy to point out. You're the one to be the foil. You're the one to show everybody what an idiot this guy is. And Donald Trump is not an idiot. He's not an idiot. He may be uncouth. He has a lot of flaws. He's not an idiot. And as far as following the president down this road, this president has already presided over a country that's created well over 1 million new jobs. We are seeing the lowest unemployment claim since in 37 years. We are seeing a 3% GDP growth rate for the first 3 quarters, and the analysts are saying at least 4% in the fourth quarter, and even better for 2018. I'm thinking you're going to have to get on board sooner or later here. By the way, Nancy Pelosi says right now in the impeachment of Donald Trump is a waste of time. And I agree. Oh, by the way, Charles Manson is rotting in hell. He died last night at 8:13 p.m. That's all I'm going to say about the bastard. So President Trump on Sunday said his administration is going to announce its decision on the practice of elephant trophies. Apparently he has suspended the decision to do big game elephant trophies. And he said, quote, big game trophy decision will be announced next week, but will be very hard-pressed to change my mind that this horror show in any way helps conservation of elephants or any other animal. So apparently he was against it. He was for it, but now he's against it. I don't know. Why did he rescind the order, the Barack Obama's order last week? It says put big game trophy decision on hold until I can review the facts. Understudy for years. We'll update soon with Secretary Zinke. Thank you. It was a, and I said this on the radio, KFYI in Phoenix. It just smacks of an old boys club. Big game hunting smacks of an old boys club, and I also don't believe the country of Zimbabwe will use the money responsibly and use it for elephant protection. They don't even have a currency right now. President ripped Marshawn Lynch for standing only during the Mexican national anthem. They were in Mexico City. It was L.A. and the Raiders and Marshawn Lynch, and he decided to sit down. He stood for the Mexican anthem. Donald Trump said next time the NFL should suspend him for the remainder of the season. Attendance and ratings way down. The only problem that I have with this form of protest, well, I've got a couple problems. There's only one problem. One problem is that they don't have the right to do it. They have the ability to, thanks to Roger Goodell. That's it. You don't have the First Amendment right when you're at work. The boss tells you you have to stand, you have to stand. Boss tells you can sit, you got to sit. You got to do what the boss tells you, all right? Right now, the big boss, Roger Goodell, he let this happen. He let it happen, and they're suffering because of it. And over the weekend, there were a lot of empty seats. Lots of empty seats. The only game I watched yesterday was a little bit of the Kansas City Chiefs getting beaten by the Giants. It was just awful. Just absolutely awful. Another Trump story here. Apparently, the three NCAA players who were arrested in China, the father of one of them, LeVar Ball, downplayed Donald Trump's effort to get him freed. He told ESPN, what was he over there for? Don't tell me nothing. Everybody wants to make it seem like he helped us out or helped me out. Donald Trump has responded by saying that basically I should have left him rot in jail. Shoplifting is a very big deal in China, as it should be. 5 to 10 years in jail, but not to LeVar, to Father LeVar. Should have gotten his son out during my next trip to China instead. China told them why they were released. Very ungrateful. And I agree. I agree. LeAngelo Ball's son thanked the president last week. Part of an apology. And, of course, people like Brian Stelter on CNN immediately made this about race. Donald Trump freed, talked to President Xi, and he has a lot of negotiating presence when it comes to foreign leaders, particularly with Xi right now. But, of course, Brian Stelter wanted to make it about race, which it is not about race.
This time last year, Fred, President Trump said in an interview with CBS that he would be very restrained with Twitter once he took office. If this is restrained, I can't imagine what it would look like if he were to be unrestrained. I mean, think about this. He's just recently let the NFL kneeling controversy start to subside, start to fade away. And now here he is calling out these players and the families again. I think it's immature at best, Fred, but it's really race baiting at worst. Mm-hmm. That's going to be debated. That's going to be argued about. But I want to put that on the table. It sure looks like race baiting to a lot of people.
It only looks like race baiting to people who think that Donald Trump is a racist, who have made up stories about Donald Trump supposedly being a racist. It's only race baiting to those who use the word race and overuse the word race, and those are generally liberals and academics. It is a hackneyed phrase. It is a different time in our history. And it's not 1968. Ridiculous. So on Sunday, Jamira Burley, founder of Geniat, I guess, said white men pose the biggest threat to Americans every single day. Now, there was a report by the FBI that was spoken about last week about black identity extremists who came out from the FBI. They also had written one about white identity extremists. Jeff Sessions was questioned about it last week, and here is what Jamira Burley had to say about it.
I mean, what is extremely disturbing about Jeff Sessions and the FBI rhetoric around this idea of black identity extremists is that it continues to highlight, I think, white Americans' disdain with black people demanding their equal due, which is protection under the law, access to resources, and the ability to freely move throughout society without being both victimized and criminalized. Instead, it does what it always does, which is to try to demean our movements and to villainize our leaders in a way that I think is actually counterproductive to moving our society in the right direction.
Okay. Where is the violence coming right now? The violence is coming from in black communities, blacks against blacks. As far as the murder of police officers by black perpetrators, that's up dramatically. Black Lives Matter, their protests frequently become violent. You've got verbal violence being spewed on campuses. The other day, a student, a Democrat leader at a university said, "I hate all white people." You've got people saying that whites are supremacists. The rhetoric is dangerous, and some people are acting on that rhetoric. Here's a little bit more from Jamira Burley.
No, exactly. It continues to try to undermine and I think criminalize our leaders in a way that undermines the movement. We saw that with MLK when J. Edgar Hoover wrote letters telling him to commit murder. We saw that when Fred Hampton was actually assassinated by police. And so I think this is nothing new. What is interesting, though, is that white men continue to pose the biggest threat to Americans every single day. It's been documented and verified that they are more likely to burn down churches, more likely to commit mass murders and mass shootings. And so Jeff Sessions' reality and his assessment on these people, I think, is both lacking in facts and both reality.
Okay, now, Chicago on track for 700 homicides this year. Why isn't that considered a mass murder? Frequently white men do shooting sprees, although let's look at the Pulse nightclub, not a white guy. All right, let's look at, well, it's not a shooting, but terrorist attacks. Those aren't committed by white guys. Fort Hood wasn't committed by a white guy. All right. So your statistics are flawed.